Suave Radio, Adi in the afternoon here on 99.9 FM, 810 AM. We are visiting today with Roman Abeta, Sarah Getler, Mathew Chavez. Roman and Sarah are from the Boys and Girls Club of Santa Fe del Norte, and Mathew Chavez is a member of the Boys and Girls Club, and he is the Youth of the Year for 2021. Congratulations, Mathew.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that you're able to visit with us today. What an honor it is to, number one, be nominated, and then, of course, to win. That is so exciting.
It really is. I'm so grateful for it.
Well, let's take a quick pause, Mathew, and I'm going to ask Sarah and Roman to tell us a little bit about the process of the selection process for Youth of the Year.
I'll let Sarah give you all the details, Adi, but as you know, you do Youth of the Month for us.
Yes, we do.
And so you kind of get a little preview every month as we select different members from different clubs. But Youth of the Year is almost like, I guess I would compare it to going from maybe high school to college, or like college to the pros. It's like, it's much more intense, and it's a huge step up, or JV to varsity type thing. It's definitely much more intense and a step up from Youth of the Month. But Sarah could probably describe in better detail what Youth of the Year is.
Yes, please. Welcome, Sarah. Assistant Executive Director of the Boys and Girls Club of Santa Fe del Norte. Let us know a little bit about what goes on with the Youth of the Year selection process.
Sure. Mathew went through a grueling process. So Youth of the Year is our premier recognition program. This is our opportunity to recognize some of our more outstanding club members, and they compete for scholarship money. So Mathew and 3 other of his peers from our clubs competed this past month, February 13th, and they had to go through making a portfolio. They had to write an essay of what their club means to them. They had to have letters of recommendations. They needed to have a resume and a cover letter and a speech prepared to give to the judges. And then they got interviewed by the judges. And so Mathew was declared our winner.
So exciting. And really, it is a interview process. If you're talking, giving a speech and having to write, something about yourself, that's very involved for sure. So,
well, and Adi, real quick,
sure.
Mathew has to go off and compete now and represent the Santa Fe clubs and compete against other Youth of the Years from other clubs in New Mexico. So now he makes it to state, and he represents us in a state competition. So
that is very exciting. And I got to ask, before we move on to you, Mathew, because I have a lot of questions for you as well. How many clubs are there in the Del Norte and Santa Fe area?
So across New Mexico, there's 12 traditional club sites, but we also have military sites as well. So all the Air Force bases also have Boys and Girls Clubs attached to them. So he could be competing with as many as 15 other members throughout the state.
Well, you're one of 15. That is so amazing. So Sarah and Roman, thank you so much for giving us the background on what Mathew had to do to make it to the selection process, and then to eventually now win Youth of the Year. Congratulations, Mathew Chavez, Youth of the Year for the Boys and Girls Club of Santa Fe del Norte. So Mathew, tell our listeners a little bit about you.
Yeah, so my background is I'm a senior at Teda Encantada Charter School. I'm a returning high school dropout who is now a straight A student. I love to read books. My current book I'm reading right now is actually called The 48 Laws of Power, and I plan on going to UNM for professional communication so I could give speeches to higher companies, and hopefully I could even give speeches to the Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, that's amazing. And tell me a little bit about why you are a member of the Boys and Girls Club and what the club has done for you personally.
Oh, the club means so much to me, actually. And it does because it was my turning point from being a high school dropout to becoming Youth of the Year with the straight A's. The club was my foundation for becoming the successful human being. The club means so much to me, and it's just done so much, and all the programs that have been there for me, it's really helped.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about those programs?
Yeah, so we have teen nights, for example, and I actually get the opportunity to host these teen nights some of the time. And what we do is we play basketball with the teenagers, and we give them food, and we provide them with homework, help, tutoring, and stuff like that. Just really help them focus on schoolwork and just be there for them if they need a person to talk to.
Wow. So incredible. And congratulations again. We can't be more proud that a local Santa Fean is going to be representing the Boys and Girls Club of Santa Fe del Norte. Super proud of you from all of us here at Suave Radio. But I wanted to ask a question to the three of you that regarding this specific year of the quarantine, the pandemic, COVID, virtual learning, right now, we're virtually having an interview. I think that definitely has impacted my children. And for you to have, you went above and beyond, even in a pandemic, to show all of these incredible students and children what you can do with the Boys and Girls Club. So congratulations again.
Well, and Audie, Youth of the Year was different this year because it was virtual, where normally a club in New Mexico hosts it. We have our own when we do our own Youth of the Year before you go to state. And last year we had it at Buffalo Thunder Resort and Casino, where we had a banquet and we honored all the Youth of the Year participants and picked the winner there. So we had to do it differently. But I do want to talk a little bit about Mathew and the teen program that he's talking to, because as you mentioned, this year we were in COVID-19. This summer in particular, we saw and heard of different tragedies, not only in our community, but around our community with teens. And so at the Boys and Girls Club, we said we need to open up, especially the club at Zona del Sol, which is on the south side of Santa Fe and the Tierra Contenta neighborhood. We said we need to open this up at night for the teens so they have some place to go. And we know we're in the middle of COVID, and technically you're not supposed to be, in groups and with each other. But the teens were showing up anyways to our club because we have a basketball court that we installed here a few years ago. But they were doing it without any supervision and without any support or help. So we stepped in and we extended our hours, and Mathew stepped up and volunteered to work at night so that we could have the basically a teen center open to them. And so I think that was one thing that one of many ways that Mathew was, what he highlighted when he ran for Youth of the Year, and something I think that really registered with the judges is not only that, there's obviously his story with dropping out of high school, coming to the club and going back, which is big in itself. Yes. But it's not just, he didn't just take care of himself. He started taking care of others. And so we're very grateful to Mathew, and we look forward to his journey now to compete with other clubs throughout the state. And then ultimately, if you win state, you get to go to regionals in Dallas, Texas. I don't know if they're going to do it virtually or we're going to be able to go to Dallas with Mathew if he wins. But and then from there, it just keeps going. It's almost like a tournament where you go round to round. Well, he's made it to the next round, and we feel pretty confident and pretty good about his chances at the state level. And for some of your older listeners, Audie, because I always hear from people around town, I heard your sister on KSWV today, or I heard her show. They know of the Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Program as Boy of the Year. Because in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s even, it was a boys club, not Boys and Girls Club. And so a lot of your listeners will be able to identify with Youth of the Year if you tell them it's Boy of the Year, because that was a big deal back then, the way Youth of the Year is a big deal now. So,
well, and I don't know if it was last year or the year before, you had a Girl of the Year.
Yeah, that's why it's Youth of the Year. So it doesn't, now it's boy or girl. And yeah, we had Danielle Trujillo was a winner. She not only won our local Youth of the Year, but she went on and won state. And then Lucas McNatt was after her. He went on and he won state too. And so we think we know what we're doing when it comes to Youth of the Year and the program. And we think we have a good shot with Mathew this year. What do you think, Sarah?
I agree. If I could attest to, Matthew is one of the hardest workers I've ever seen. He comes here and he does school all day, and then during his breaks, he comes in and he helps other kids with their schoolwork. So he also tutors, and he's such a positive role model to everyone around here. There's not a lot of teenagers who could, work with their peers, and have them look up to him as well. He sets a really great example for everyone here.
Oh, it's so wonderful to hear. We're visiting today with Roman Abeta, Chief Financial Officer, Sarah Gettler, Assistant Executive Director from the Boys and Girls Club of Santa Fe del Norte. And we are here today and we're honoring Mathew Chavez, the Youth of the Year for 2021. Mathew, with this honor, I understand you won a scholarship.
I did, yeah. So with the local Youth of the Year, I won $4,000 in scholarship money to go to college, which I am really, truly, truly grateful for. That's going to help out a lot. Oh. And even going on to the state, which will get for another $5,000 on top of that, will help tremendously.
Oh my goodness, that is so wonderful to hear. And he's a Lobo, folks. He's going to UNM, so he's staying right here in New Mexico. So cool to hear.
And as he said, Audie, he'll get support from the clubs, financial support with a scholarship for the next 4 years. And that is brought to us in part by both PNM and Enterprise Bank. Both of those were our major sponsors for this year's Youth of the Year. And so we couldn't do it without those organizations and obviously without KSWV. We love being on Suave Radio, and we love doing the Youth of the Month with you. And I've gotten a lot of accolades and comments from your listeners saying, "Hey, I heard your Youth of the Month this month. That's great. It's such a wonderful program." So thank you so much. And we thank the Gonzalez family for always being there on behalf of the Boys and Girls Clubs and advocating for us, because we wouldn't be able to provide scholarships and programs like this for people, young people like Mathew, if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you also to KSWV and everything you do for not only the Boys and Girls Club, but the Santa Fe community and Northern New Mexico.
Well, thank you so much. Those are kind words, and you're making me blush. You just turned the tables on me. Thank you so, so much. Well, is there any final words or final thoughts you have for our listeners today, Mathew?
Be yourself, and have empathy.
Very good. Wise words from such a young man. Thank you so much, Sarah, Roman, Mathew. Congratulations again. And I have to, I'm going to be reaching out to you because now you're on the hook. I got to keep following your journey. And when state comes around, I'm going to be in touch with Sarah and Roman, and we're going to bring you back and let us know how you did at state.
Let's do it.
Well, thank you again so, so much. It was a pleasure to visit with Mathew Chavez, Youth of the Year from the Boys and Girls Club of Santa Fe del Norte. Thank you guys and ladies so much today for joining us on Audie in the Afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.